Hello, this is Max. Warning, there will be spoilers. In 2007, young Reed expresses his ambition to become the first person capable of teleportation during career day at school. Despite his high IQ and belief in his teleporter invention, his teacher dismisses his idea as unrealistic. Disheartened, Reed continues to work on his equations. Ben, intrigued by Reed's work, encounters him later at the salvage shop and learns about the power converter Reed needs for his teleportation machine. In exchange for the part, Reed promises to demonstrate the invention to Ben, who agrees. Together, they complete the machine, and during a test with a toy car, the surroundings shake and the power fails. To their astonishment, the toy car vanishes, leaving only rocks behind. 7 years later, at a science fair, Reed and Ben showcase an upgraded teleportation machine that can both send and retrieve objects. However, their demonstration is mistaken for magic tricks by the teachers, resulting in their disqualification. Coincidentally, Dr. Storm and his daughter Sue witness the demonstration and realize its scientific potential. Dr. Storm, working for the government-funded Baxter Foundation, reveals that they have been attempting interdimensional travel but haven't achieved successful retrieval. Reed is surprised to learn this, as he thought he had been teleporting objects within Earth, not other dimensions. Sue presents a test tube containing and matching this and found on the toy plane, proving that Reed's machine accessed another dimension. Impressed by Reed's achievement, Dr. Storm offers him a full scholarship at the Baxter Foundation. Reed accepts and is warmly welcomed by Ben. At the Foundation, Reed explores the impressive facilities and awkwardly interacts with Sue, struggling to converse with her. Meanwhile, Dr. Storm discusses an expedition to a new world with the board, aiming to utilize its resources and potentially save their own planet. During the meeting, Dr. Allen expresses skepticism about Victor Von Doom's involvement due to his past actions. Despite this, Allen agrees to give Victor another chance, given his potential and his previous contributions to the machine. Storm approaches Victor and convinces him to join the team, especially after learning about Reed's success and Sue's involvement. Back in the labs, Reed and Sue collaborate with the team to build a larger version of Reed's machine. Sue discovers that the previous model had been creating rift in space and time, posing the risk of a destructive black hole. They proceed cautiously. Later, Storm and Victor arrive, and Reed is shown an image captured from the other dimension during a previous attempt. Storm explains the potential of the new planet to save Earth, but Victor, displaying pessimism, believes Earth is undeserving of salvation. Sue playfully refers to him as Dr. Doom due to his negative outlook. Meanwhile, Storm's son, Johnny, participates in an illegal car race, excelling in his speed. However, his car's engine explodes just as he's about to win, resulting in a crash. Storm retrieves Johnny from the hospital and expresses disappointment in his son's choices. He informs Johnny that he won't get his car back unless he works for him, leading Johnny to reluctantly join the team at the Foundation. Weeks pass, and the team works tirelessly, fostering a strong bond and friendship. However, Victor grows jealous as he notices Reed and Sue becoming closer. Eventually, the team completes the construction of the teleportation machine, naming it the Quantum Gate. Reed sends a picture of the finished machine to Ben, expressing gratitude for his support. The following day, Allen and the board arrive for a live demonstration. They successfully send a monkey through the Quantum Gate to the other dimension, known as Planet Zero, and the monkey returns unharmed, validating the experiment's success and safety. Despite the accomplishment, Allen refuses when the teenagers express their desire to be the next to travel through the gate. According to him, the creators must remain behind to control the machine, and NASA personnel will be sent instead. Disappointed, Reed, Johnny, and Victor decide to drown their sorrows together. Frustrated that they won't have the opportunity to explore the dimension they discovered, Reed proposes a plan to use the machine secretly. Johnny and Victor agree, and they contact Ben to join them, as he was an original creator of the machine. In no time, the group suits up and enters the machine pods without Sue's knowledge. As Sue receives an alert about the gate's activation, she rushes to the lab, but the men have already vanished. On Planet Zero, the group is fascinated by the newfound dimension. Reed and Ben plant the American flag, triggering the ground to break and reveal a glowing green light. They investigate the area where Victor believes the energy is converging. Johnny remains atop a cliff, serving as an anchor, while the others descend and encounter a green, lava-like substance. Victor discovers that the substance responds to physical contact and decides to explore further. However, his actions cause an explosion, leading to the eruption of the ground. As chaos ensues, the three men quickly ascend the rope, with Johnny supporting their weight. Reed desperately attempts to save Victor from the spreading green substance, but it engulfs Victor, forcing Reed to let go of him. As Reed and Ben continue their climb, they reunite with Johnny and rush back to their pods. However, they encounter difficulties during re-entry. Fortunately, Sue regains their signals and activates the return process, but it is not swift enough. Johnny catches fire and Ben is struck by rocks. The machine explodes upon their return, causing a shockwave that knocks Sue unconscious and results in citywide blackouts. When Reed regains consciousness, he witnesses Johnny burning and Ben trapped under rocks. Although his own legs are pinned under a pillar, Reed begins crawling, determined to find a way out. Strangely, he observes his legs stretching abnormally before losing consciousness. The following day at Area 57, Reed becomes the subject of experiments to test his newfound stretching abilities. Whenever he awakens, his emotional state prompts the scientists to sedate him once more. Storm visits his children and discovers Sue's ability to shift in and out of the visible spectrum, while Johnny, still burning, involuntarily triggers an explosion that evokes sympathy from Storm. Eventually, Reed wakes up again and hears Ben's plea for help. He manipulates his arms to escape the restraints and navigates through the vents until he reaches Ben's location. To Reed's shock, he finds Ben transformed into a rock-like entity. Meanwhile, the facility is alerted to Reed's escape. Promising Ben that he will find a solution, Reed flees the facility alone, utilizing his powers to incapacitate any guards who obstruct his path. Subsequently, Alan visits Ben and manipulates him into believing that Reed has abandoned them. Alan suggests that the government in Area 57 can provide a remedy for their conditions, but in return, the teens must assist in their service. A year later, Ben, Johnny, and Sue have gained control over their abilities and become valuable assets for the government. Ben is deployed to war zones to neutralize enemy tanks. Johnny can now fly, and Sue can render objects invisible while creating force fields. Alan discusses their progress with the Pentagon and proposes a new quantum gate project with the intention of granting the United States military similar powers. Within Area 57, Johnny and Sue engage in a heated debate regarding the use of their abilities. Johnny wishes to utilize his powers for meaningful missions like Ben, while Sue refuses to be treated as a tool and believes they should wait until their promised solution is found. At a later time, Alan arrives at Area 57 with Pentagon agents and presents the quantum gate to them. The generals agree to support the project but request Ben and Johnny's increased involvement in field operations. Storm, displeased with the government's intentions to utilize his children as weapons, discusses the urgency of finding Reed with Sue. Sue immediately begins tracking Reed's online activities to identify a pattern. She discovers his scrap metal collection and his continued interest in Ben, awaiting his next move. Reed, disguised by altering his appearance, persistently procures metal scraps for building a new gate. However, Sue manages to track him down when he logs into his computer. Area 57 dispatches a team to capture Reed based on Sue's intel, but they inadvertently trigger his security system. Reed escapes into the woods and confronts the surrounding soldiers, effectively using his abilities to fend them off. Failing to apprehend him, the soldiers release Ben to complete the mission. Reed attempts to explain his intentions and his ongoing search for a cure, but Ben, hurt and frustrated, silences him with a headbutt. During their journey back to Area 57, Reed apologizes for abandoning everyone and vows to find a cure. However, Ben realizes that Alan has no intention of allowing them to be fixed since they are considered useful in their current state. Upon their arrival, Sue engages Reed in a conversation, convincing him that fixing the gate is an opportunity for his work to make a difference. Reed finally agrees to assist and throws himself into the development of Quantum Gate 2 with greater dedication. During a new teleportation trial, Reed and Johnny reunite, and unlike Ben, Johnny is thrilled to see his old friend again. The machine successfully sends a new crew to Planet Zero, which has undergone significant changes over the past year. Suddenly, they are astonished to witness a human figure approaching it as Victor, who somehow managed to survive and acquire tremendous power on the planet. The crew is instructed to bring Victor back, and he is immediately taken to an examination room. Upon closer examination, they discover that Victor's suit has fused with his body, revealing the presence of the green light underneath. Alan promises Victor a cure in exchange for divulging everything he knows about Planet Zero. However, Victor snaps and uses his newfound telepathy to mercilessly kill everyone in the room. He then embarks on a ruthless killing spree throughout the facility. An alarm is triggered, momentarily leading Ben to suspect that Reed is attempting to escape again. Johnny accidentally strikes an invisible Sue while on guard duty, prompting the siblings to search for their father. In the midst of the chaos, Victor seeks to return to Planet Zero, and Storm tries to stop him. The siblings witness Victor brutally murdering Storm upon their arrival. Reed and Ben also arrive and attempt to reason with Victor, but he forcefully repels them with his telepathic abilities before entering the machine and returning to Planet Zero. There, Victor overloads the quantum gate, generating a vortex that threatens to pull everything from Earth into the other world. A furious Johnny flies into the portal towards Planet Zero, and Sue creates a force field around herself and her two friends to follow him. Observing the functioning of the vortex, Reed deduces that the Earth's matter is being transformed into energy, with Victor being the source. Despite Johnny and Ben's powerful attacks, Victor effortlessly subdues them. He traps Johnny with rocks and mud, suppressing his fire, and immobilizes Ben with large rocks. Meanwhile, Sue creates a massive force field to halt the debris from falling into the quantum gate. Victor detects Sue's location by sending sand and small rocks, overwhelming her force field and causing her to fall. Reed attempts to reason with Victor once more, but Victor remains resolute and dubs himself Doom. He spreads the green substance over Reed's body, causing him to lose control and become flexible like rubber. In a moment of recovery, Sue launches a direct attack on Victor, but he easily subdues her using his powers. Witnessing his friends in grave danger, Reed musters his strength and regains control over his body, enabling him to fight back against Victor. He manages to throw Victor off a cliff, but Victor quickly resurfaces. However, this time, Ben awaits him, hurling a massive rock as a distraction. Sue promptly traps Victor in a force field that Johnny engulfs in flames, attempting to incinerate him. Although Victor breaks free from Sue's force field, Reed engages him in a physical confrontation. Unbeknownst to Victor, this is a diversion as Ben emerges from Sue's invisibility and punches Victor, propelling him into the machine. Finally, Johnny demolishes the pillars, transforming Victor into pure energy. With the battle concluded and their victory achieved, the four friends hurriedly make their way back to the machine to return to Earth just before the gate closes. At a later time, the Pentagon expresses gratitude to the friends for saving the world and extends an offer for them to become soldiers. However, the friends decline the offer and subtly imply that things could turn unpleasant if they are not left alone. Nevertheless, they receive a generous gift in the form of a large laboratory and agree that they need to choose a name for their team. Inspired by a comment made by Ben, Reed suggests they become the Fantastic Four. Thank you for watching. You can subscribe and give this video a like. Goodbye.